So now that we've been introduced to drawing sheets and started learning how to dimension in general, in this unit we're going to explore some of the nuances that goes into dimensioning and documentation of technical drawings. And so what are we looking at here? Well, this part is a part I designed to sort of introduce some of the concepts that we will be learning in this unit while looking at how to document technical drawings. And so if you look, it's just a box with a bunch of holes drilled in it. And you can see there are various types of holes with various depths. But let's go ahead and get started. Let's go to File, New, go down to Drawing and select Campus A. And go ahead and fill this information in yourself. And let's select Base. And we're going to change our view from front to top. And let's drag this over here so that it's in between B and 2. And I'm going to change it from a 1:1 scale to a 1.5 scale. And I'm going to move it over just a little bit. I don't want the edge to cross my title block like this. But I also don't want it too close to this edge. So get it pretty close to the center here. And then hit OK. And if I don't want it shaded, which I don't, I'm just going to double click on these dotted lines to bring up that menu again. And I'm going to go over here to this blue circle that says shaded, and I'm going to select it and hit OK to unshade this part. And so what are these lines that we're looking at here? So if we go back to the actual 3D model of the box and we look at it from the top view, let me go ahead and turn on shaded with edges. And we look at it from the top view. Well, these edges here are just chamfers that we can see from the front view. And so that's what this line and this line is. What about these hidden lines? Well, if you go back and look at it from the front view, you'll notice that those hidden lines are just this edge and this edge of this sort of cutout of the bottom left of our front view. And so over the next few videos, we're going to use these various features to explore some of the things you might see in technical drawings. But for the purpose of this video, let's ignore all of the features except for these 4 holes. And so I'm going to go to Annotate and Dimension. And there are actually 2 types of dimensioning that we can do here. Let's go ahead and start with the type of dimensioning that we're more familiar with. So let's start from the left edge and go to this first circle and drag it up. And then we're going to go back to that first edge that we clicked on and go to the second circle, and then just sort of continue. And you may recall that this type of dimensioning is called datum dimensioning. And if you accidentally select the far left side of a circle, that's fine. Right-click and hit cancel, and just do it again. Click dimension, and then make sure you don't click that yellow dot there. Make sure you just click the circle in general, so you'll measure to the center of it. And you might notice that I drew this a little bit too high. I'm going to right-click and hit OK to leave dimensioning. And I'm going to select these red dots and drag this shape down just a little bit so I have some room to finish my datum dimensioning. And the reason why we call this datum dimensioning is because all of my measurements are starting from one location or a datum. You'll notice that every single dimension started from the left and then measured every feature that we needed to know. And so this is called datum dimensioning. But I don't actually want to use this type of dimensioning. I want to introduce a different type of dimensioning to you today, just so you can be aware of it. So I'm going to right-click and hit OK. And I'm actually going to select everything and then hit Delete on my keyboard. But I don't want to delete the view, just the dimensions. So if I hit Cancel, it'll just delete the dimensions and not the view. And I'm going to go to Dimension again. And I'm going to start the same way. I'm going to start from the left side and go to my first circle. But instead of making the left side a datum and starting from here every time, I'm going to make a chain of dimensions. So for my next dimension, I'm going to go from the first circle to the second circle and drag that down. And then I'll go from the second circle to the third circle and drag that down, and so on and so forth until I get all of these in a chain. And you may think, okay, well that's really easy. All I have to do to finish this is go from this circle to this edge here. But that's actually improper practice with chain dimensioning. I'm going to right-click and hit OK, and I'm actually going to undo that last dimension. Select dimension again. When you're wrapping up a chain and you're on the last dimension, you actually go back to the very beginning and measure to the very end. And this is how you do a proper chain dimension. I'm going to right click and hit OK. And I'm going to bring this up just a little bit more since I don't need anything above this anymore. And once you have your 4 chain dimensions and your total width dimension, you have everything you need for this video and you're ready to move on to the next video.